can just start being or stop being anything you want. Even if you've done something for a really long time, you can just decide that you don't want to do that anymore. And you don't need anybody else's permission. Crazy, huh? I didn't really fully understand that, and I'm 41. Somehow the world had convinced me that I had to continue to be whatever the outside world wanted me to be. So they felt okay. No, that's actually not my job and left me pretty burnt out. Yeah, you can just step into a different version of self that feels more authentic and true to who you are anytime you want. If nobody told you yet, I'm here to tell you, you can do that. And there may or may not be people that have something to say about it. Neither one is your concern. Okay? Yeah, you're just here to live your life, to figure out what lights up your soul and makes you happy. That's it. You don't have to bring anybody else along with you. If they want to come, they're welcome. But we're not going to be upset if they don't follow. We're not going to be upset if they're not cheering. Okay? Yeah. Because we don't actually need outside validation. Yeah, we thought we did. We used to operate on that. It's kind of like a currency that of the world really heavy right now, is that we look at each other's lives through social media, and then we assign like our own worth or value compared to somebody else's life that they're experiencing and how much they like our life. That's all an illusion. It's not actually real. It's all created. Yeah. And so the more hours of our life that we spend participating in that is the world that we live in. So we've created this false reality, and we now spend most of our time within the false reality, giving it all of our focus and energy. And we look up and don't realize we're actually kind of being enslaved. It's concerning me. It's concerning me a little bit. But I'm just going to keep walking in the awareness that it's not too late. That we can live happy, fulfilled lives. But it requires a willingness to be present in the moment, being our authentic selves, and trusting our own intuition. Believing that we're protected. Tapping back into the power of the earth and the ability for nature to heal. It will require a lot of letting go of everything that you thought was important in the world. And that will be kind of painful. I've had to accept that I have a closet full of fast fashion, and I'm participating in the destruction of the earth. I now just want to eat my own food where I know where it came from. And I'm recognizing the amount of work and effort that it's going to take to do that, to be that self-sufficient, and whether or not I really have it in me to do it. And do I want it bad enough to put in the work? Everything's full of chemicals and we're being poisoned. Most of us are living within this matrix built of programming and ancestral trauma, and we're just repeating lessons because we haven't yet realized that we're mirroring each other's wounds. It's weird out there right now, for me anyways. There's no going back once you decide to seek truth. You can't go back to living in the dark and pretending that you don't know. You can try, I've tried. You can't really sleep the same as before. But I wouldn't want it any other way. I want this life. I want to walk fully tapped into God, communicating with nature, being nourished by the earth, feeling connected to my fellow man for the greater good of all. Knowing that none of this in the end really matters, that we are infinite, And yet at the same time, we can play a critical role in this moment in history of the type of humans and experiences that we had here on Earth. Or you can just pretend that all of this means nothing. That the world that's been built outside of us is more important than the world inside of you. Than lighting up your own soul. You're going to see a converging, is it converge? No, diverge. A divergence of experiences happening where people are turning on their light and saying, okay, I'm marching this way. And people are going to march in the opposite direction. And you're just going to step back and watch it occur. Knowing that it's all unfolding perfectly. Knowing that you're protected. And knowing that you've done the work to thrive in this next chapter of being. There's no other option but to turn on your light and shine and march forward. The only other option is staying in the dark, staying in that pit, listening to the fears, repeating lessons. I think we've had enough of that. Through presence and awareness, we can step into a higher version of self. We embody it by being the character that we wish to see, by showing up in relationships and being the type of partner that we want to be in relationship with, by understanding our mindset about abundance and money. We just step into it, all that we're meant to be, moment by moment, day after day, until it becomes the reality that we already know exists because we've seen it. We're building, piece by piece, this amazing empire, this unstoppable team that is here to raise the consciousness of the earth. We do it by being a people of love and peace and compassion and inspired action. But we also know how to be free and present in this moment, and recognizing that that is the true currency. Your real currency, your real value is your time and your focus and your energy. How are you feeling moment by moment by moment? That's where wealth lies. The awareness that you get to participate in how this experience goes. We're here, players. The game has already begun. It's been going on. We're being called to turn on our light, to activate our awareness, to be mindful of how we're showing up, and to show up and create the life that we were called here to live. You can join or you cannot join. You can just sit back and watch the show. It's going to be great. But just sitting still is no longer an option. The people that choose to sit still, to not stand up and participate, will be in the quote-unquote old world. You're going to be witnessing other realities and be totally unaffected by it because you were on a different frequency. It doesn't touch you because that's not where you live. That's not where you reside. And if God isn't calling you outside of where you reside, it is not of your responsibility. Your responsibility is to build where God has placed you. God has placed you here in this moment, at this point in your life, for a reason. And if you're meant to be somewhere else, you would be somewhere else. None of this is unfolding by accident. We're here to evolve, to grow, to trigger one another for the greater good of all.